Welcome back to another Clifton Cameras Week in Review, and may the 4th be with you.
Oh yes, happy Jedi Day everyone.
As you may notice, Andy and Matt aren't with us this week, but we do have the lovely Gareth Cox. On today's agenda we have the Nikon full-frame mirrorless rumours is hotting up, an interview with Simeon Quarrie on videography, we have the latest copyright controversy, and then Gareth is going to take us out with the promotions for this week.
Lots and lots and lots of promotions to keep you boys and girls all excited.
Plenty to do. So, starting off, we've got Nikon confirms new mirrorless system, finally.
They do, yeah, there's been a lot of chat, a lot of conversation on Petapixel, Nikon rumours, photo rumours, all those usual sites about it. So from what I've been reading, Ben,
Yep.
and everyone out there, is that a person from Nikon at CP Plus earlier this year had said, yes, they are going to be bringing out something. Mirrorless CSC is kind of the prediction. And that you could see at the kind of tail end of their fiscal year, which will be spring 2019.
Right.
It kind of stems on, because I was reading back reports even back to mid last year,
Yeah.
where they were saying if they're going to do mirrorless, it will be full frame. And that was that. It was president of Nikon, quite a high up chap, was mentioning it.
Yeah.
On that side of things.
They need to get in on this, don't they? They really need
Yeah.
to catch up with the whole mirrorless side of things.
Yeah, one of my jobs here is to look at market trends and see where things are going. And the accounts I manage and the accounts I deal with, like Panasonic and for one, and also closely with Sony as well,
Yep.
is that the trend in CSE is huge at the moment. It is really going to be their year. We're noticing, I think, in a couple of the Week in Review videos, these guys have talked about how the switch
Yep.
is happening with like press photo,
Yep.
the increase of CSE users in that, and so on and so forth.
Slowly ebbing up, but it is
They
definitely
really
going
do
away.
need to get on board,
They definitely do.
big time.
Yeah. I believe it was Sony who kind of forced their hand. Isn't
Big
that right?
time.
Yeah.
Sony basically saying that we predict Canon and Nikon to bring out CSC. Nikon and Canon have probably gone, yeah, we are. Now we need to kind of get going with it. So they have definitely had their hand forced there by Sony. We will obviously know Sony make a lot of chips for people as well. So
Yeah.
I reckon there's a little bit in that side as well. Come on, Nikon, hurry up.
Yeah. It's going to be a big one.
It is going to be a big one.
Do we have any sort of details on the camera?
Well, at the moment, there are lots of imagery out there about what it could possibly look like. Some look bloody lovely,
Right.
Others looking a little bit, maybe
What's
not.
that?
So it does look very good. The kind of prediction is, just going on to the Canon side of it a little bit,
Yeah.
there was one article I was reading saying that they've registered some new camera models.
Right,
Like, they've
okay.
all got codes at the moment. But what they're possibly saying is one of them seemed very spec like a 5D Mark IV.
Really?
So they've already got obviously full frame. Both companies have already got full frame chips.
Yep.
So how can they utilise that into their mirrorless or into a possible mirrorless series
Right.
with everything there as well?
Right, okay.
So yeah, it seems very much spec like that. With Nikon, this is my guess. It's completely my view on this one. Is it could be based around the D750, maybe D810 kind of range.
Right.
There's a possibility they've got that kind of sensor that is very well known. When
Yeah.
is the other thing. This is the real interesting topic.
There's a couple of different rumours, aren't there? Some people say it might be out this year, some people saying by the end of the fiscal year.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
What's your predictions?
Well, from what I've been reading again, lots and lots of reading, and my personal thoughts on it as well. Now they're going on about Photokina, which is usually every 2 years, but that will be changing next year. There's a possible massive worldwide launch platform for Canon and Nikon to announce something. Now whether this will be, here's our product, but you've got to wait 6 months, no.
Right.
I really don't. If they were to do something like that, I think that would be absolutely daft. Because
Right.
I'm not going to sit around on my camera equipment waiting 6 months when I've already got established cameras in the market already. So I've got a prediction is if they do announce the development of Photokina, we could then see maybe the CES show in Las Vegas as here is the product.
Right.
to then 2 months later will be the actual product released.
Well, that's the beginning of the year, isn't it?
That's the beginning of the year, usually January time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But if you look at where Nikon did with the D850, we went to the launch and everything like that with that.
Great day out.
Really, really good. But they then announced, and then it was around about a month and a half, 2 months later, product was in the market.
Yeah.
And that is the usual lead time someone wants to wait. So if they do announce something at Photokina, but wait until spring, I'm worried.
Right.
But I think the prediction was, yes, we are doing it at Photokina. Here is the product at somewhere like CES, and then it would actually be product on the market by March, which is what they're predicting.
Right. Okay. Is there any sort of news on lenses in what's compatible, what's not?
Well, this is the interesting one again. They're going on about can Canon develop it as the EF or EFS mount within their CSC, and there has been other predictions that Nikon are going to have a new mount.
Right.
I think known as the Z mount, or as our lovely colleague Matt would say, Z mount.
Z mount.
Z. Now, obviously, they're going to have an established adapter for that as well.
Right.
So, whether they'll have something coming out. So, if let's say they bring out a full frame CSC, price it around the same kind of spec as a 7 Mark III, possibly around about the $2,000 mark, they're going to have to think about including an adapter.
Right.
Because there's a lot of Nikon glass out there. I know of a lot of people using Nikon glass on their Sony mirrorless cameras through various adapters. So you've got to think, okay, there's got to be a package. You can't say spend £2,000 and then another £200 or £300 on the adapter just to put your lenses on.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work. Canon-wise, they've got the EF-M mount, but if they bring out with an EF mount, is that possible? I don't know.
Right.
But the mount side of it is going to be really, really important.
Right. Okay.
So,
in regards to Canon, do we have any news on the Canon side of things?
Well, they are saying that there are things out there. There are cameras or physical cameras in the hands of pros.
Yes.
Is one of the things I think you may have read that as well.
Yeah.
So, is there anything out there? If anyone knows a Canon Pro, maybe it might be nudging them, having a look in their kit bag or something.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. See if you know anyone. See if you've spied anything in their camera bag. But at the moment, that is the only information. I think Canon are holding their cards a little bit closer to their chest than Nikon are. I think with these announcements from Nikon execs and people like that, there may be a little bit more information to come, but it is really hot. There's articles once or even twice a week out there that I'm reading, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to make this year, or it's going to be a phenomenal start to next year.
Well, Sony have been nailing it lately, haven't they? I mean,
Sony have been rocking and rolling.
7.3 is just so, Canon and Nikon really need to...
They got to do it well. If you're listening, Canon and Nikon, do it properly.
We know you can.
Got to do it well. Nikon, you've got an established D850, which everyone loves. Canon, you've done phenomenal things with the 5D Mark III, etc. So you know what you're doing. So please do it properly.
Well, speaking of Canon as well, last week we held a Canon event in Dursley in our store, and our very own Matthew Ward caught up with Simeon Quarrie, and we had a conversation about some videography.
So, like we said last week, I'm here with Canon Ambassador and the Vita Managing Director. He's got his own thing going on as well. Simeon Quarrie, great to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me down.
Yeah, I think we had you last year as well for a similar sort of workshop.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit past a year. I think it was maybe 1DX Mark II, possibly.
Yeah.
So it had been some time ago, but it's good to be back.
It was a while ago. But anyways, we got a couple questions for Simeon today. We just want to know what he does and how he does it. Simeon, you tell everybody that you're a professional storyteller. What does that mean?
So essentially, I like to tell stories. The medium that we tell stories at, for me, doesn't matter as much. Admittedly, most of the stories we tell are via video and photography. Also, we do animation and virtual reality.
Okay.
But storytelling technique kind of is over and above the use of the technology. So yes, I use photo and I use videos, create videos, and I use Canon equipment to do that.
So that kind of leads into the next question I was going to ask you. What are some of the common tools that you use to tell stories?
So once we've defined like a narrative and a structure, and we've worked out what the stories that we want to tell, in my kit bag is a range of cameras. So right now for video, I've got a C200 and a C300 Mark II. I'm very lucky, I know. And I've also, in the DSLR range, I'm currently 1DX Mark II.
So you've got basically all the good toys.
I have got the good toys, and I also get to play sometimes with other good toys that are different flavors. So for example, today we've been talking a lot about the mirrorless camera technology, so I had an M5 for a couple of weeks. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it's great because I get to start to see how having something that's smaller and more compact for photo and for video can actually change the way I tell stories, as opposed to having something that's bigger, maybe with an easy rig or a Movi, for example.
Yeah.
So different tools help you tell stories in a different way. So I like to have a range of different tools, look at the story that needs to be told, and then work out which tool is the best one for the job.
Yeah, I liked what you were saying earlier. You mentioned you were at I think it was a press release for a client, and you were shooting with the M5 that day, and it was the mirrorless camera, and you didn't actually need to do any post-processing with that, and so you used the camera and its ability to just transfer the images directly to the phone and then send them off to the client. That was kind of an interesting situation. Did you expect that, or?
I didn't go into that event expecting that. I had my 1DX Mark II on one shoulder, and I thought, let me bring the M5 because I know I'm going to be speaking here and I need an excuse to use it. But what I did is I had to decide what's the most important thing to the client, and we always have to look at that. For me, I like shooting at the best standard possible with the best possible equipment I have, which tends to mean it's the biggest piece of equipment I've got. But they're shooting on a 1DX Mark II wasn't necessary, because actually what was more important was the immediacy of getting my images across to my client.
Yeah.
So in that room I had, I think it was maybe about 60 or 70 people were there. So it meant that the acoustics in the room meant that shooting discreetly would be really favourable. The other thing was I could see that the team was sending out images on social media, and they were busy using their mobile phone, to which I said to their team, stop. I've got this M5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take images and I'm going to send it directly to my mobile phone, I'm going to WhatsApp it through to you, and from there you're going to get it on Twitter.
So that's how that came about.
And that's how that came about.
Okay, cool.
So I had a happy client by the end of it, and the great thing was at the end of the event I had no more work to do. I had already delivered my images by the time I walked out the event.
Done.
Nice.
I'm curious, so part of today's workshop, we talk a lot about filmmaking with DSLRs and mirrorless, and then you're going to do a practical hands-on session this afternoon, currently taking up Simeon's lunchtime, sorry about that. But what would you say to a photographer who's been shooting with Canon products and now feels like they're ready to take that next step in offering filmmaking services, say a wedding photographer, or well, it could be any type of photographer really, but if they haven't had their first filmmaking client yet, what kind of advice do you give those people in trying to establish themselves as filmmakers as well as photographers?
So in a way, brand doesn't matter. Like, I love Canon, I'm a Canon ambassador, yes, but actually whatever brand of camera you're using, video is a really big opportunity for you. So I started off, I did video, then I did photography, and I actually go in whatever direction means that I can earn enough money for me to feed my family. So it happens that video makes a lot of sense right now. Where something is a little bit more difficult, it means that there is often money to be made, right? With video, it's deemed to be a little bit more complex because you've got the editing that needs to be done. You also need to think about the way your shots link from one shot to another, which is a little bit different with photography. So that tends to mean sometimes there's a little bit more money on the table with video now as time's going on. The key thing is actually just to get out there, look at the equipment you've got, flip it into video mode, and just go for it and try.
Yeah.
I think one key thing, think about what you're shooting in advance. With video, because one shot links with another shot, it's very difficult just to go out and get a random bunch of different video shots and put them together and have something that makes sense and is meaningful. So actually, as opposed to with photography where sometimes you can just try and find the shot, with video it makes a lot of sense if you can actually think about what you want to shoot or your message in advance, so that then you're creating those images. Go wide, get your wide shot, then think about what can you do to tell that story with a medium, and then think about the close. So if you've got that 3 shots almost in a scene, wide, medium, close, you're well on your way. And then just start to think about the little settings. If I could just give one tip, technical tip.
We'll take it.
With with photography, you can literally change your shutter speed to whatever you want, right? If your camera can have a shutter speed of 8,000 on a bright sunny day, great, do it, because you're going to get the exposure. Do that in video, you might find yourself in a little bit of visual trouble. So because here for us in the UK, and I'm sure you guys with your audience is UK as well, we work at 25 images per second. If you think of the old flip book technique, 25 images in 1 second, which happens to mean that a shutter speed of 50 in general will give you a nice looking image. So set your shutter speed to 50 and then work your other settings like ISO and aperture in order to get the exposure that you want. And then at least you're going to get a nice fluid video. That means you will not freak out. And I think once you get that basic thing in place, you're in a good situation. And then of course, just think about the sound of the story. If you can get some sound live at the time because you've got a microphone plugged on the top, or your camera most likely will have an internal microphone, that's going to add something. But the great thing is you can put music on the top. Or perhaps what you can do, sorry I'm speaking loudly because of the background noise, perhaps what you can do is you can add some voice over the top as well. Right now we've got a microphone on top of the camera which is hopefully, it will be doing a better job than the internal microphone. So just look for those little accessories which can totally transform your filmmaking should you decide to delve deep into video.
So there's some pretty foundational, knowledge there for anybody who's currently a photographer and wants to step into filmmaking. Filmmaking sounds really involved. I imagine it would be very difficult to, if you were shooting an event and you also wanted to film the event and tell the story correctly. It's really hard to do those two things at the same time, do you think?
Okay, so if you're at an event and you want to shoot photo and video, sure, if you shoot 4K, you could extract some images to it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it yet. What I would say is that to tell a video story, you just need a collection of a certain number of shots, and you might find, in order to tell a story of an event, you might just need to create a video that's 1 or 2 minutes long. And if every video, each shot is maybe 3 or 4 seconds, how many shots do you need? It actually won't be that many. So what I tend to do, first thing I do when I walk into an environment and scene is we establish where we are on the location. So I go for photo, wide shot, set my exposure, take the shot. For video, get the same shot, get your wide establishing shot. Then you might start to look at the details, right? Maybe it's signage that's been set up for the event. Maybe it's some decorations that have been set up for the event. Get a shot for photo, but then just remember to grab a shot for video as well. Now it doesn't have to be at a 1-to-1 ratio, but as long as by the end of the event you've walked away with having maybe 30 or 40 shots, you will, I promise you, find that you can put together a little bit of a video sequence. Then what I would do, I'm going into business speak now, is I would give it to my client for free to start off with, right? Create it, give it out to them for free. It's an added benefit.
That's cool.
And then all of a sudden, if they post out on your social media, guess what? You've just had your first video client. The next person you speak to, you'll say, I can do photo and I do video. I'm going to charge you for the photo and I'm going to charge you a little extra for the video. Now don't just double the price for the video, because if you double the price for the video, the expectation on your video is going to be as much as your photography. And you may not be there yet. But just adding, 10%, 20% extra for that additional element of creativity, you start to see how through one camera, one piece of technology, that you've been able to enhance the amount of income. And then before you know it, you may find that you're getting booked as much for video as you are for photography, and someone will ring you saying, I want video, not photography. Great, fantastic, bring out the checkbook, or just photo, or maybe as an element of both.
That's cool. All right, wow, there you go. It's a slow creep. Just a couple other things. You said that your comfort zone lies with the 5D4 and the 1DX Mark II. Do you see the Canon mirrorless cameras that they're developing now having a place in your tool set?
I think we can see the way the world is going, and mirrorless technology is definitely on the up. It's small, it's compact, and I'm liking Canon's foray into the mirrorless market. I have to say, it's really these last few iterations of the cameras that I've now begun to I've got excited about. The first dip in the water, generally I kind of watch niche. Now with these cameras, they are definitely for me becoming very, very interesting. I do a lot of social media, and having a DSLR in order to get those social media images doesn't necessarily really always make sense for me. I want small form factor, so those mirrorless cameras are really, I think for me, starting to come into their own. So I can see me sectioning out a little pocket in my kit bag where I put a mirrorless camera. I'm not yet ready to do the full conversion and flip over because I'm getting such good results with my other cameras. I'm literally looking at mirrorless as being another tool that makes sense in certain situations. Certainly, when I'm walking around, I've shown you images and videos from my family life. Mirrorless cameras for my day-to-day living make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the footage and the photos that you show us are actually really, really nice as well. Quite stunning imagery. Kind of leads into one of my last questions. Do you think a Canon Pro level full-frame mirrorless camera would change that? Would that pull you away from shooting on digital single lens?
Would a pro level? Yes, because I mean the thing we know about Canon is when they say something is pro or prosumer, when they give it that flag, they're telling you, right, it's here, we're here, it's arrived. The good thing I know about Canon is I trust them. So when they say this is it and it's ready for my use as a pro, it means it's ready, which is why they tend to take slightly longer than a lot of other brands sometimes. Is because when it hits market, it has to be right. So when they say it's right, it will be, and I will find it definitely an interesting, a good technology to use. Of course, like all of us, I embrace change at strategic points in my career. I was shooting video with a video camera, and then when the DSLR revolution came, I flipped when it was the right moment, and I used that to my advantage. That time isn't for me right now on a professional level, but I know at some point the time is going to come, and when it's right, I will be there.
Cool. Hey, well, thank you for taking your time to talk to us,
Thank
Simeon,
you.
and coming down to Dursley.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Bye. That was good. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Enthusiastic. Well, that's good.
Okay, so that was Matt talking to Simeon Quarrie there. Hope you picked up on some tips there. Hope it was useful for you. Next up, we're going to be discussing copyright. Yes, something I know that I think everyone's passionate about this subject, really, aren't they? So,
big time.
Record label insults photographer after stealing her photos. So,
Horrible people.
just to let you guys sort of in on what's been happening here. Concert photographer Adrian Rose-Smith, I believe that's how you pronounce it, after asking nicely that her misused photos be taken down, Rose-Smith received some angry words from the music label. So I think what basically happened, she did an assignment for a magazine. She posted all the pictures up. She covered an event, I believe, a gig.
Yes, yeah.
Took all the photos. They were used in on the website and one of the bands.
Yes, correct.
One of their management promotion, whatever, they actually used those images. They downloaded them themselves, cropped them, so they actually took off her watermark and used them
Not good.
for their own promotional purposes. She actually contacted somebody and they seemed happy to help, but they didn't actually take them down.
No.
Not initially, anyway. They didn't take them down. They then asked how much it would be to pay for the high resolution copies. She told them $50 per photo.
Cheap.
Which is not bad at all. And then she received a slew of pretty bad text messages from the band manager, I think it was.
Yeah, it was to do with the label, I think. So
the
manager label
management.
that was moaning about it, and horrible comments.
Yes, basically you should be grateful that we've shared it and that the 400,000 people have now seen it or something like that.
Yes.
Along those lines.
400,000 people have seen it, yes, but whose photo is it?
Yeah.
Who's got credit to it? It's kind of ridiculous, and obviously this stems on to a conversation we were having earlier and have quite regularly in the office, don't we?
Yeah, yes.
Now, if Ben's taken a picture at a gig and I've got a vlog, let's say YouTube vlog, and I talk about music or what music I listen to whilst riding my bike into work, and I see this picture Ben's done, and I say, Ben, really like your picture, mate. Is there any chance I'm doing a vlog about this band? Is there any chance I could use it as a still within my video? I'll kind of credit or whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Ben comes back and says, yeah, sure, Gareth, not a problem at all. Here's my Instagram, here's my YouTube channel. It'll be great. So you have that associated thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, this girl here, or this lady here, is a band photographer. She likes her music. And a band's enjoyed her image. So she's just basically said, look, can you take it down? That they could have come to an agreement.
Yeah.
But I think it's a case of this person's just got on their high horse and said, no, you should appreciate what we do. You can't charge us. I just don't get it. It really frustrates me. It really does.
It was pretty scathing as well, wasn't it? They were basically saying you should never work in this industry again. It's absolutely disgusting what you've done. When all she did was actually reach out and say you haven't even. I mean, did she actually ask for payment, or was it actually? I think it was more the issue was that they'd actually cropped out the.
Yeah, they purposely edited the image to take out the watermark.
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
That is no, that is a complete no-go. But also as well, I think they asked how much would it be.
Yes.
They asked how much, and she said this, but they've kind of portrayed that she's turned around and said, take it down, or I charge you £50 or $50. It was just like they were taking it out of context completely, and I'm amazed she held her kind of anger behind and was actually quite nice about it.
She was. Her responses were quite civil. I
Yes.
thought. Yes.
Yeah, I think I would go absolutely mental, and I think it's a case of if I've taken an image and someone likes it and someone wants to use it, just ask me, because I may just say just mention my website or my Instagram or my YouTube channel. It's absolutely fine. I watch various compilation things on YouTube, and they've always got who posted the video up or who's contributed the video and so on and so forth. So yes, there is copyright. There is lots of details behind it. From my understanding, it can be solved quite amicably.
Yeah.
If I say that word, it's quite an achievement.
Civilly.
Yes. If you just talk, if you as the person wanting to use the image and the photographer want to just talk to them, just ask them, because they could turn around and say, no, it's £1,000, and you just go, right, okay, great, okay, thank you very much, but no thank you.
Yeah.
Or they may just say, yeah, perfect, just mention me or do something like that.
Yeah,
you just don't know. Just speak to that photographer that's taken the image. If it includes you in the image, then obviously just say, oh, this is a picture of me, I absolutely love it, can I use it?
Right.
What's the harm in mentioning the photographer? There is no harm in it.
Exactly. They've gone through. That's how they pay their bills. So even if they don't make money on that's exposure for future jobs as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's like she was saying, it pays her bills.
Yes.
And that is the key point. It is her living. So why take that away from her? It'd be like her going onto a pirate website and downloading their music for free.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
That's the issue, but she doesn't.
And they clearly thought the images were good enough to use in the first place. So when they turned it around afterwards,
Said they were rubbish image.
It's quite frustrating. But we'd like to know what you guys think about this one.
Definitely.
So any comments you have, please leave them down below. We'd really love to hear what you guys think about this one, because this is I think a lot of us are passionate about this sort of thing.
Yeah. And if you've experienced anything yourself, I think that would be great to get kind of stories as well, and just hear how you've handled things and so on and so forth with regards to that one.
Yeah.
It would just be interesting to know, because I think as photographers we're all quite nice.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been in a situation like this, it's not nice, but it'd just be interesting.
Yes. Courtesy.
Yes.
Well, I think that's it for our topics this week. But Gareth, we have some promotions. Quite a few promotions, I believe.
Oh yes. What I've done is pick the best ones we feel have just recently launched. The reason why Andy's not here today is he is plugging away getting all these listed. Doing
promotions.
Some say that I gave him all the work so I could be in this video. But no, there is a lot going on at the moment. It is spring and the sun has finally come out. So all the manufacturers decided to do some awesome discounts for you guys and girls out there. So to start with, Sony cashback, 90 products. 90, that is, not 90 products on cashback at the moment, which is absolutely crazy. Also as well, if you're looking at trading into Sony and want to go for their flagship A9, there's a trade-in offer on that as well.
Right.
All of these will be, images and links will appear
over there.
Along the bottom here. There we go. Not used to doing that. And the other one as well is if you have Canon lenses, but you're looking at a Sony mirrorless, we've got half price Sigma. Get my words out. There's lots of S's in that one. MC11 half price. So you can put your Canon lenses onto your Sony camera. Sound good?
Yep.
I think it's really good. Really, really good. Next up, for anyone out there looking at upgrading or buying a tripod, and you've been looking at likes of Gitzo, the world's best tripods, some might say, we're doing 20% off a selected range from their flagship range of systematics, travelers, mountaineers, plus heads and monopods as well. So you can get incredible discount on a great, awesome range of tripods.
Great deal, and like you said, they're amazing tripods, aren't they?
They are, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Next and last top pick is we're doing an offer with Zeiss relating to Sony and Fuji cameras. The idea is if you buy a Sony A6000 series, 6000, 6300, 6500, or selected Fuji X series camera, you can get 10% off one of 3 2-it lenses.
Nice.
If you don't know the 2-it lenses, they come in 3 focal lengths, and they are absolutely gorgeous optics as well. It's a nice little prime, so if you're into street photography, portrait
Fantastic
photography,
lenses.
landscape photography, they have all that covered. So yeah, 10% off when brought with.
Excellent.
That is
Fantastic.
the promotions at the moment. Obviously, you know our website. There is a promotions page.
Yeah.
You can go and view all these on, and it is stacked with loads at the moment. So go and have a look.
We'll have links in the description as well, so make sure
Yes.
you check that out. But I think that's it for this week.
I think that is this week.
So-
I've enjoyed myself, Ben. Thank
It's
you
been,
very
yes,
much for
it's
letting
been a
me
good
come
one.
on.
It's been a good double team here.
Double team, maybe called the beard edition. So yeah, that's all from me.
And that's all from me.
Thank you very much.